status quo. I think every judicial officer could agree with that statement. I certainly am experiencing this. I am in my 34th year of serving as a judge. My new colleagues, of which there are many, cannot even imagine working without a computer. None of them use their office landlines, not one single one of them. They do not work with paper, and they are entirely comfortable surrounded by multiple screens. These are innovations in judicial practices, and we must have a positive attitude towards change. I appreciate the quote of the British author, lay theologian, and scholar C.S. Lewis, who said that there are far better things ahead than we may leave behind. That is the perspective we must have. For courts to move forward, of course, we must maintain the confidence of the public, to ensure the public we serve has adequate access to justice, and to fulfill that goal, we must have adequate funding from government sources and other funding institutions. Judges need that support to adapt to the changes that we must make. Judges will do their part, I am sure, and embrace innovation and change for a better future. But as the guidelines I mentioned noted, there is a delicate balance between embracing innovation and maintaining established values and fundamental principles which must not be discarded due to the pressures of modernization. What could we have as a more appropriate theme for our conference than discussing innovation and change for a better future? In the days ahead, we will benefit from the engaging program that has been put together under the leadership of Judge Sharem Qureshi, our Director of Programs. I know we will benefit from the excellent speakers that we are so fortunate to have with us from around the Commonwealth, and we will learn much from those presentations, and perhaps equally as much from the informal discussions that we will enjoy together. I look forward to enjoying the company of all of you and extend to you all a very warm welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Justice Leash, for those inspiring words. Once again, we will now have a short cultural performance by no other than Jali Mamadi Suso. Jali, you are welcome. Abaraka, Abaraka Jali, Donkilo Diata, Abaraka Bake. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinguished and singular honor to invite the chief host of this prestigious gathering, that is the 20th Triennial Conference of the Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Conference, who is no other than the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of the Gambia, His Lordship Justice Hassan Boubacar Jallow, to address this very august gathering. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, you are welcome.
Your Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Honorable Justice Lynn Lynch, President of the Cmja, Council members and all other members of the Cmja who are present here, Honorable Chief Justices, Judges, Magistrates, and all other judicial officers from across the Commonwealth, Honorable Dr. Karen Brewer, Secretary General of the Cmja, Honorable Ministers, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, it is indeed a great pleasure for me and an honor to join the President of the Cmja to welcome you all to this 20th Triennial Conference of the Cmja. We particularly appreciate the presence of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, who has joined us on this occasion. Particularly welcome, of course, also our colleagues and friends and members of the Cmja who have traveled from across the length and the breadth of the Commonwealth, indeed from across the entire globe and all the continents, to this historic gathering of over 300 delegates and over 40 accompanying persons. I'm indeed truly pleased to see amidst us today the familiar faces of so many friends and colleagues of our Commonwealth family. Thank you very much for coming, despite for some of you the immense challenges of international travel over long distances, from Papua New Guinea, from New Zealand, from Australia, from the Caribbean, and in between. You are all very welcome. Our gratitude is extended to the Cmja Organizing Committee under the leadership of Dr. Karen Brewer and the local interdepartmental organizing committee under the Honorable Justice Awaba and their members for having worked so hard to enable us to convene here in Banjul. I also wish to acknowledge the immense contribution of the various departments of the Gambia government to the organization of this event. The judiciary, of course, the Office of the President, the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of the Interior, the Gambia Police Force, the Gambia Immigration Department, the General Legal Council, and the Gambia Law School have all come together to make this event possible. We are particularly grateful to the General Legal Council and the Gambia Law School under its Director General Rugiba Tomasi. Well, I must not forget that last name, Rugiba Tomasi, as well as the government of the Gambia for their very generous financial contribution. It is truly indeed an honor for us in the Gambia to host you all and to renew with you and strengthen together the bonds of Commonwealth brotherhood and sisterhood and friendship which continue to underpin our relations as a Commonwealth of nations and of peoples. The Gambia may be the smallest country on the mainland of continental Africa, and perhaps not so endowed with natural resources, but I hope that you will find in our smiles broad and welcoming, you will find our smiles broad and welcoming enough, and our hearts wide open and big enough to welcome and embrace all of you to this, the smiling coast of Africa. The Gambia has been, with the exception of a brief, unfortunate interruption, a steadfast member of the Commonwealth since it attained its independence on 18th of February 1965, as do most, if not all, the jurisdictions here represented. In a world of conflict, poverty, and systematic violations of human rights, the Commonwealth today represents hope for a better future for all mankind, due to its core values and principles of respect for democratic governance, for human rights, the rule of law, and for judicial independence. These values represent the golden thread that binds the diverse Commonwealth, a thread which has made an immeasurable contribution to the tapestry of the global struggle for justice and for the rule of law within nations and between nations, in equality and in mutual respect. We in the Gambia remain committed to the Commonwealth and to its values and to its principles. We recognize that peace and progress are best anchored on the solid foundations of democracy, of respect for the rule of law, respect for human rights, and for the delivery of quality justice by an independent and efficient judiciary. These values of the Commonwealth equally underpin our organization, Cmja, and they indeed give the Cmja and our national judiciaries a uniquely important role in the promotion of good governance across the Commonwealth and beyond the Commonwealth within the wider global community. Our common commitment to justice as judicial officers across diverse regions of the globe gives us, the members of the Cmja, a great opportunity and a great responsibility as well. For quality justice is what underpins all efforts at good governance and development. But there cannot be sustained peace without quality justice. There cannot be progress and development without the peace that is founded on justice. Justice, peace, and progress remain inextricably linked. And the recognition of such a linkage is an important step towards the realization of justice and of good governance. It is thus appropriate, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, that under the umbrella of our common institution, which represents one of the largest and most global of legal traditions, that we continue to network, continue to share experiences, and to fashion out strategies to keep the law and the legal institutions abreast of developments and of public expectations, ready to meet current and future challenges. Hence, while necessarily and legitimately conservative in the furtherance of laudable objectives of stability, certainty, and predictability, the law and its institutions must not be allowed to remain static. That indeed would be bad for both the law and the community it is meant to serve. We must continue to be guided by the need for change and by the need for continuity at the same time. The theme of this triennial conference, Innovation in Judicial Practice, Embracing Change for a Better Future, is thus indeed a very fitting subject for the occasion, and indeed for the future. For we must rise beyond ad hoc solutions to the problems of justice and begin to plan more strategically for the development of the justice sector. National policy office makers need to recognize that national development planning cannot ignore the needs for justice and must integrate these needs into such plans. That public investment in justice is a necessity, and it has social and economic dividends for any nation and for the entire community in terms of peace and in terms of the creation of the right environment for progress. We too, as judicial officers, must seize the opportunities provided by modern life in order to deliver more effectively and efficiently on our core mission of administering quality justice in a timely manner. So advances in science and in technology offer us the chance to improve significantly on judicial processes and working methods in case and court management. Reforms of rules of practice and of procedure provide an opportunity to make our institutions truly citadels of justice, rather than mechanisms for unreasonable delays, for tardiness, and for frustration for those who seek justice. Greater specialization and continuing judicial legal education, areas in which the Cmja has registered great success with national judiciaries, should open the doors to more effective judicial management and the resolution of complex disputes. Greater openness and greater transparency in the recruitment and promotion of judicial officers, combined with more rigorous mechanisms for ensuring judicial accountability and integrity, would enhance greater public confidence in the legal system. And above all, how can we, as officers and as a nation, ensure that security of judicial tenure and judicial independence, so crucial for justice and for the rule of law, and thus for good governance, that these continue to be respected and strengthened in our various jurisdictions. We look forward to a very constructive discussion and sharing of experiences in the true Commonwealth tradition of this important theme and its various dimensions. And at the end of it all, the adoption of conclusions and recommendations which will guide our national jurisdictions and indeed guide the Commonwealth organization in the future. So I wish us all successful deliberations. I hope that when future generations look back at the history of our dear organization, the Cmja, they may indeed adjudge that Banjul Cmja 2025 was a significant milestone in our common struggle for justice and for the rule of law. Distinguished guests, as you may be aware, the Gambia has been in transition since the democratic change of government in 2017. That transition has focused mainly on the restoration and consolidation of democracy and good governance in the country. Its programs have included ensuring accountability for past wrongs, strengthening the public service, providing a better legal and constitutional framework for good governance, and strengthening the independence and efficiency of the judiciary. The Gambia has been fortunate to have at the helm of its affairs during this challenging period of transition His Excellency Adama Barrow as the President of the Republic. The choice by His Excellency the President of the restoration of democracy and good government as the #1 priority of our national development plan is ample testimony of his commitment, as well as that of his government, to justice and the rule of law. As the Chief Justice of the Gambia since 2017, indeed throughout the period of transition, I am happy to record on my behalf, on behalf of all my judicial colleagues, that we have indeed been discharging our judicial mandates independently, without interference from the executive, and without any fear of retribution or threats to our tenure. We attest to the commitment and respect by His Excellency, the President, and his government to the independence of the judiciary, which has enabled us to deliver justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will. And beyond that, we wish to record our great appreciation to His Excellency and his government for their continued support to the judiciary with resources to enhance its efficiency and the delivery of its mission. And his very laudable efforts, if I may add, in collaboration with the National Assembly for the adoption of new laws and policies to provide significant improvements in the conditions of service of judicial officers, particularly in relation to improved pension benefits. All of it as a means to enhancing the security, the diligence, motivation, and integrity of the judicial officers and the judiciary. To His Excellency, in His Excellency, therefore, I'm pleased to say, we do have a real partner and a real ally for justice, an ally for peace, and an ally for respect for the rule of law and for democracy. So indeed, then, it is my great pleasure and honor to invite His Excellency the President, Adama Barrow, to address the 20th Triennial Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Conference and to declare it open. I thank you for your attention. Your Excellency, Mr. President.
Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Your Excellencies, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice of the Gambia, Chief Justices, Honorable Judges and Magistrates, legal practitioners, esteemed academics, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government and the people of the Gambia, it is with profound honor and pleasure that I passionately welcome you all to the Smiling Coast of Africa for the 28th Conference of the Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association. This occasion is particularly historic for us, as it marks the first time the Gambia is hosting this important global judicial dialogue. We thus appreciate the confidence reposed in us by the association. Excellencies, Your Lordship, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Cmja Triannual Conference has established itself over the years as one of the most significant forums for judges, magistrates, legal practitioners, and scholars to deliberate on issues confronting justice systems across the globe. By gathering here in Banjul, you are reaffirming the enduring commitment of the Commonwealth family to strengthening the rule of law, upholding democratic values, and promoting respect for human rights good governance, and international peace and security. The theme for the conference: innovations in judicial practice, embracing change for a better future. It's evidently timely and relevant. We live in an era of rapid change, characterized by technological advances, globalization, and heightened public expectations of justice. These developments present both opportunities and challenges for judiciary systems worldwide. On the one hand, we face such common challenges as backlog of cases, inadequate resources, and emerging transnational crimes. On the other hand, advances in technology, artificial intelligence, and digital tools present unprecedented opportunities to modernize our justice systems, improve efficiency, and expand access to justice. The task at hand is to embrace innovation while preserving the timeless values of justice, impartiality, and adherence to due process. The critical question is, how do we achieve this? Excellencies, your lordships, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this conference provides an opportunity to exchange experiences, share past practices, and devise ways of transforming judicial systems to be more adaptive, innovative, and functional. It is a moment to reflect deeply on how to strengthen transparency, safeguard judicial independence, and reinforce public confidence in our courts. The occasions hold special significance for the Gambia as we continue our judiciary reforms to modernize our court systems, strengthen judicial independence, and expand access to justice for all. The reforms reflect our commitment to constitutionalism, good governance, and the rule of law. Hosting this conference demonstrates our willingness to showcase our progress and desire to learn from the collective wisdom of the Commonwealth. As a country implementing a transnational justice program, the Gambia is making significant strides in improving the landscape for the rule of law and good governance, as well as promoting and protecting fundamental human rights and freedoms. This is pertinent, recalling that Gambians endure dictatorship that spanned almost 22 years from July 1994 to January 2017. In 2020, we established a full-fledged, independent, and autonomous National Human Rights Commission to promote and safeguard rights in the country. The Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions accredited the Commission with grade A status. There are other significant complementary legal and institutional reforms. Examples include the establishment of Anti-Corruption Commission, a reparation commission to compensate victims of past human rights violations, and a special mechanism act to guarantee justice and accountability for victims identified by the Gambia Truth, Reparation and Reconciliation Commission set up in 2018. The Access to Information Act, the Torture Act, the Person with Disability Act, and the elimination of all discriminatory laws against women are milestone legislation introduced by my government to promote reconciliation, freedom, equality, and justice for all Gambians and non-Gambians alike. This conference further reinforces our conviction that no nation can meet today's judicial challenges alone. Rather, through cooperation, dialogue, and solidarity, we can find shared solutions to strengthen justice across borders and improve the lives of the citizens of the Commonwealth. I am confident that your deliberations this week will lead to invaluable resolutions and recommendations to shape the future of judicial practice within and beyond the Commonwealth. I encourage you to reflect in the process on key issues of technology and innovation for judicial efficiency, transparency, accountability, accessibility, and public trust. Your insights into such matters will strengthen the Cmja's mission of promoting judicial independence and contribute to global efforts to build more inclusive, transparent, and effective justice systems. As we begin this important dialogue here in Banjul, let the conviction that justice is the cornerstone of peace, stability, and prosperity guide us. However, we must not perceive innovation as an end in itself, but as a means to ensure that justice is timely, fair, and accessible, especially for the vulnerable and marginalized lot. I reaffirm the Gambia's strong commitment to institutional reform, judicial independence, and the shared Commonwealth values of democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I hope your professional exchanges, together with our hospitality and the cultural experience before you, will enrich your stay in the Gambia. As you deliberate on the future of judicial innovation, please take time to enjoy the warmth, beauty, and vibrancy of our country. With this message, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare this 28th Cmja conference open. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, for that, what you will all agree was a brilliant keynote opening address of this conference. May we have another round of applause for His Excellency, the President. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The last two items on the program for today, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, would have the pleasure and honor of meeting the various Chief Justices that are present here today, from what I understand from the Chief of Protocol, and then from there we shall proceed to the official conference photograph, which will take place at a designated area outside the conference hall facing the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. We are guided accordingly. So we are. They can remain seated. Okay. Yes, I am advised that the Honorable Chief Justices may remain seated, and His Excellency the President will graciously and kindly come down along with the Chief Justice, to meet these Chief Justices and heads of delegation. Your Excellency. Good morning.